Hey guys, what's up? Emo Cat Dad here, hanging out with you, bringing you yet another edition of Emo Cat Dad Listens. If you're new here, then first off, thanks so much for stopping by. What it is that I do here is every day of 2024, I vowed to check out a new band or artist. I check out 4 songs from across their discographies, give you my initial thoughts on the songs individually, rank the songs based on my preference, and then finally give you my overall thoughts on the artist. Today's artist, as you can see right there, is the band Normandie. This was a kind suggestion from one of you viewers, so please keep those suggestions coming. I need them so badly. We're coming up on 1/3. I believe tomorrow's episode will be 1/3 of the way through the year officially. So I still got 2/3 to go, so I need your guys' help. Give me ideas of bands or artists that I need to check out so I can make a video on it, and you can come back and get my thoughts on that band or artist. So what do I know about Normandie going into this? I really don't know anything. I had assumed they were like a metalcore band, but I pulled them up on Spotify to do this video, and I seen that they were referred to as a post-hardcore band first and foremost, which honestly is better for me. I tend to play better in that lane, and even the metalcore bands I enjoy either tend to lean more rock or post-hardcore anyways. So now I'm actually more excited to check out Normandie than I was prior to this. And coincidentally enough, they're going to be in my area in about 2 weeks. So maybe I'm going to check out that show in Toronto if they win me over, since I'm a casual fan of Our Last Night, who's the headliner, but I'm a big Broadside fan, who is the middle band between the two. So this just might be the band that I need to listen to get me over the hump and convince me to buy tickets to that show. And luckily for me, Normandie has released exactly 4 albums, so I could check out a song from each album. I love when that works out that way. So the first album is called In Guz. I don't know what that means, but I checked out the track Awakening, and I do know what that means.
Wait for a long time, but now I can see.
Okay, I really love the keys in the song. I didn't expect that, especially right off the bat is when they shine the most. It does fade away after a bit, but I still enjoyed their inclusion in the mix. The pre-chorus on this track is top-notch. Probably my favorite part, honestly. Usually I'm a big bridge guy. I love a good bridge, and we do get a bridge in this track, but it's just kind of okay. But otherwise, it's typical post-hardcore flair for this time period. I didn't hate it, but it definitely didn't do anything to really stand out for me either. Alright, next up was their album White Flag, and their most streamed song appears to be the title track, so let's give that a listen.
This is the product of your apathy.
Alright, now this is a really cool chorus. The last chorus kind of looked worse in comparison to the cool pre-chorus. This one makes the pre-chorus look like a joke. Unfortunately, musically, it's a lot less interesting, but the vocals and melody on White Flag are so much better than Awakening. And the snare and bass tone that they used, especially on the bridge, ruled. Unfortunately, the lyrics just kind of repeated themselves, so that took away from that cool sounding music, but I still bought in quite hard. The penultimate song we're listening to is called Babylon, and it's off the album Dark and Beautiful Secrets. Okay, so the song is definitely more pop forward. I enjoyed it overall, but I do feel like bands like Dayseeker and Rain City Drive do the sound better. But this bridge did rule. It once again does have repeating parts where they just have a 2-line part that repeats about 3 times, I think it was. But the music changed each time, so that made it at least a little bit interesting. Most recently, Normandie released the album Dopamine earlier this year, and from that album I checked out the song Serotonin. Alright, this goes back to the post-hardcore instrumentation. There was a lot of cool guitar work here, but the vocals were still very much pop-focused like the last track. Speaking of those vocals, still very strong, and there was parts where it soared in the chorus, and those were probably my favorite vocal performances out of any of these tracks. Alright, so those were the Normandie songs I checked out. Let's go ahead and rank them. Starting at number 1, we're going with the new stuff, Serotonin. takes the top spot. This is honestly the perfect blend of post-hardcore and pop for me, two genres I love on their own, but when blended together, like I said, like Dayseeker and Rain City Drive does extremely well, then it takes it to a new level. And that's basically what Serotonin did for me. It made me feel high. Did you get the pun? Good. At 2, we're going White Flag. This one wasn't as poppy as some of the other songs, but the post-hardcore of it all did make it really enjoyable for myself. And honestly, I can't get over the snare and bass sound in that bridge. It was so entertaining. I wish it played a little bit more throughout the song, but that's just because I'm a beggar trying to be a chooser as well. At 3, we'll do Awakening. Sonically, I thought this was the most interesting sounding song. I didn't love the vocals and melody as much as I love the other 2 tracks, which is probably why it falls below them. But the pre-chorus is out of this world, even if the bridge fails to impress. And finally at 4, Babylon. Again, not a bad song. I feel like a broken record recently. Like, all these bands and artists I've been checking out, I've been liking all of the songs, and that's the same thing with Normandie. Unfortunately, Babylon just ends up at the bottom because musically, it's not all that interesting based on other bands that I like more doing this kind of sound. Alright, so what are my overall thoughts on Normandie? I obviously really liked what I heard since all 4 of these songs got high praise for me. However, I will say I was a little disappointed that every song was structured the exact same, where it went verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. I like me some pop song structure, but I also wouldn't mind if they differentiated it up a bit, especially since the bridges were always constructed the same way, where it's couple lines, repeat, bridge over. But musically, a lot of this is in my wheelhouse. It's either pop leaning or post-hardcore leaning, and I love both genres quite a bit, especially when my pop has guitars, which thankfully Normandie provides. But at the end of the day, I loved what I heard. I'm definitely going to check out Dopamine in full. We'll see if it makes my albums of the year list, but it's at least earned itself a listen or two. Alright guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm your friendly neighborhood Emo Cat Dad. I appreciate you sticking around till the very end of this video. Like I said earlier, please give me those suggestions. Leave them in the comments below. Bands or artists you think I absolutely need to check out. I'd appreciate it oh so very much. Like I said, I've done over 120 of these already, but there's still lots more to go. So please, if you just stumbled upon this, go back through the back catalog. Check out some other ones I did. Lots of post-hardcore in there if you love Normandie. And while you're leaving me suggestions in the comments, make sure you leave me your thoughts on Normandie. Have you checked out the new album, Dopamine in full? What are your thoughts on it? Please leave them below. Let's have a conversation. I'll let you know my thoughts once I get around to listening to it. Also, if you're a fan of movies, make sure to check out my other channel, Dem Boys Watch Movies, where me and my 2 friends watch a movie and make jokes about it. We just put up a new Twilight episode, so check that out on screen now. But otherwise, before you leave, I need you to do me a favor. Just one little thing. That's cut my wrist and hit subscribe. Emo Cat Dad signing off for now, but until tomorrow, I want to hear you sad.